Good evening, champions. Good evening. Welcome to today's edition of the Motivation to Elevation podcast. Thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule to hop on. And we're going to get started momentarily. If you just joined me, make sure you let me know in the comment section below so I can say hello to you. I trust that you all's day went well, that it was peaceful, productive, and I'm in a soul glow kind of day today, so we're going to get this going very shortly. If you haven't already done so, feel free to share this. I'm about to let people know that I'm live. I like to start on time. I like to finish on time. Hey, what's up, champ? You say you here but not ready yet. Well, I hope you get ready. Because this topic, I'm coming with it. I appreciate the share, champ. I do. You know how much I appreciate you. No doubt, no doubt. Are you ready now? That's what's up here. With that being said, let's dive in. I'm sure the late folks gonna come on later or they'll catch the replay, but nevertheless, I want to again thank you for taking time out of your schedule to hop on this Facebook Live podcast. This is my 4th episode, and I'm just excited. I'm thankful, because this is something that's just been in my spirit, something that's on my heart, something that I know that I should have been doing, but, sometimes we know what we're supposed to be doing, but we're hard-headed and so on and so forth. So I'm not exempt from that. I'm guilty as charged, but, nevertheless, better late than never at all. So with that being said, let's go dive into this topic. And this is something that's just really been in my spirit. And I'm just going to give it everything I have. So if you get value from it, feel free to let the likes, let them flow, let the love flow, let the comments flow in the comment section. Let me know if I'm hitting home, if I'm touching base, and feel free to share this once it's done. So with that being said, let's dive in. The topic today is how to overcome the insecurity. Anyone that knows me on a personal level knows that insecurity is a huge pet peeve of mine. Hey, what's up, Sean? I appreciate you, brother. And nevertheless, the problem with that is insecurity is so detrimental to any type of relationship, whether it's with your siblings, your parents, your significant other, your spouse if you're married, etc. Insecurity will turn a good thing into damaged goods, so to speak. And so I just want to talk about that because there are a lot of people that are insecure. And the sad thing about it is they don't even recognize it. The sad thing is they can't even admit it to themselves that they're insecure. So let me start by getting this off my chest. And I want to ask a question, and I'm going to phrase it pertaining to the ladies and the fellas. So let me start it off by saying this. Ladies, are you tired of dating insecure, bitter men? Fellas, are you tired of dating insecure, bitter women? Now, men that have been crushed emotionally, who decide to spit their venom at you, this pertains to the ladies, and when a woman tries to be good to you, and as soon as she makes a mistake in your eyes, you are ready to dismiss her. Now, here's the thing. Anger is a healthy emotion. When someone hurts you, it's okay to be angry. What's not okay is to be bitter. And there is a difference between being angry and being bitter. Now, so many men and women have been hurt and are taking it out on their good counterparts. This twisted affection is used as a defense mechanism. For example, let's say a man gives all his love to you, and I'm talking to the ladies. Let's say a man gives all his love to you unconditionally, and yours comes with stipulations. But I want to keep it balanced, so I want to flip the script. So, ladies, put yourself in your shoe, in those shoes, where you're giving of yourself unconditionally, and the man that you're dealing with is putting stipulations on his love or stipulations on what he's willing to do for you. This passive aggressiveness has got to stop. It is time to grow up and talk about what's really bothering you, ladies and gentlemen. Walking around with an enormous chip on your shoulder will not suffice. You have to communicate your feelings and not withhold them from your significant other or your mate. Why? Because, fellas, she is not Superwoman. That's what's up. She is not Superwoman. Fellas, no matter what you try to do, you are not Superman. We are human and we make mistakes, and surprisingly, so do you. So now what? You're bitter because of your past. You let a good woman or a good man get away, and you wonder, why are you by yourself? How is that for a contradiction? Men and women are being punished for caring, because when we love hard. And if you're someone that's watching this that loves hard, let me know in the comment section below. It gets to a point where, because you've been hurt so much, that you start to feel like the person that you're dealing with or the person you was dealing with don't even care about your tears. And then you lie to yourself and you say, they hurt me, so they are well deserved. And what's crazy is, if you don't deal with this stuff properly, you will systematically shut them off and then wonder why they walked off. And they can only take so many blows till your anger knocks them out cold. And I don't know who's calling me, but they should be on this podcast right now. So I'll get to them later. Nevertheless, a lot of men and even some women cannot discuss what's really bothering them. And that's mind-boggling, because what happens is they leave the other person defenseless. Having you constantly attacking them verbally, breaking their spirit. And what's crazy is, as much as I've been through, I probably should have never gave love a chance again. But I know I'm a king, worthy of a queen. And I'm telling you, ladies, you are a queen who's worthy of a king, who will not want to crush you forever. Who would hurt to know that he hurt me, or who would hurt to know that she hurt me. Nevertheless, at the end of the day, we must realize that we all deserve someone who does not feel like hitting them when you're already down. Sometimes we hold in things when they happen versus addressing them head on. When we allow our anger to fester, and then what happens? We explode. We become a ticking time bomb. And here, I'll put it like this. Bipolar love is never successful 1 minute. It's never successful. 1 minute, you want them. The next minute, you don't want them. You know what's crazy? That's a numbing experience. What I've noticed is that love has hurt a lot of people. Love has hurt you, my brother. Love has hurt you, my sister. And the thing is, when you deal with something like that, you need time to heal. And the thing is, they cannot heal your broken heart from your past hurt. And that's what a lot of people make mistakes at. They try to look at the other person and they think that this new person is going to heal their broken heart. You are putting unrealistic expectations on them. That is not their responsibility. Because if you know that you're still dealing with a broken heart, you have no business being involved in a new relationship. And the fact is, again, they're not your superwoman. They're not your Superman. As much as they want to rescue you, they cannot save someone who wants to drown in misery. You love them, but you must love yourself more. And most women need a man who can verbalize how he feels, whether he's disappointed or whether he's happy. Same thing goes for the fellas. Most men want a woman and need a woman who can verbalize how she feels, whether she's disappointed or whether she's happy. One who can talk to you, a friend in both good and bad times, and love you unconditionally. Yes, we are a host of imperfections, but still worth loving, as are you. And sometimes, fellas, we get so angry that we banish love and we don't feel like we're deserving of her. And when she tries to comfort you, you shun her away, you push her away for misery. And the thing is, misery is a comforting bedfellow. It's a sad state of affairs. Do you want to spend all your time being bitter and angry, leaving yourself all alone? Because what will happen is, if you keep doing stuff you know that you're not supposed to be doing, you will find yourself by yourself. You cannot blame someone for what someone else has done. I'm going to say that again. You cannot blame someone for what someone else has done. And the thing is, you got to get to the point where you refuse to settle for an angry, bitter man. Ladies, fellas, you have to get to a point where you refuse to settle for an angry, bitter woman. Stop settling for bitter people. Fellas, a real woman will say she is sorry she hurt you, but she just wants to love you. Same thing, flip the script. Ladies, a real man will admit when he's wrong, even when he hurts you, and he will apologize for it. There is no such thing as a perfect man. There is no such thing as a perfect woman. Every man is flawed. Every woman is flawed. But at the end of the day, we must realize that no matter what we've done, no matter the mistakes we've made, we all both bring something worthy to the table. And if anger is all you have, you need to move on from them. If that's all you're getting from your mate, you need to move on from them. Love them from a distance, because you don't want to be numb. You don't want to harden your heart. And the thing is, someone is out there who will not subject you to such abuse. They will accept your pure and unadulterated love. And when we tick each other off, because you will tick your mate off, be able to talk about it and not shut down on the other emotionally. Now, you will disagree with them because you're two different people. But the thing is, we will do it without defaming one another. Whether it's verbally, not defaming them verbally, not defaming them physically, attacking them, or without scarring them. And sometimes we just got to agree to disagree. It's about fighting fair. Now, most people want a successful relationship that's set on a strong foundation. Most people want to communicate their feelings and allow you to communicate yours. My brother, my sister, you deserve to be happy. Whether you believe it or not. Yes, they hurt you, but now you're hurting me. Does that appease you? Taking your anger out on an innocent love. You cannot allow me to love you if you feel unworthy. You can't allow someone to love you if you're the one that feels unworthy. You're just going to reject it. So the question is, are you dating an insecure, bitter man or a bitter woman? Let me ask you, how's that working out for you? It can be very hard to see the signs if you are insecure in a relationship when you're deep into it. However, when our relationship begins to crumble, many times it becomes very easy to see the insecurities. We're at the root of its demise. And insecurities come in all shapes and sizes for those single and those who are paired off, and even as those who are married. The trouble with insecurities, however, in relationships is that it starts to affect both people. Those of us who enter into a relationship feeling wonderful and confident might leave it feeling more insecure than a teen with braces at the peak of their puberty. And why do I say that? Because when I was a teenager at the peak of my puberty, I got braces. So I can talk to that. And that was probably the only time in my life I was very insecure. But that is a thing of the past. Having said all that, after being insecure in a relationship for too long, you could find that you've become an insecure person. It's somehow become part of your nature. And having said all that, I'm going to give you 5 signs that you're insecure in your relationship. And I'm actually going to give you some ways to fix it. I'm not one of these people that just likes to point out the symptoms but don't offer any type of solutions. So if these solutions that I'm dropping on you, or if these signs pertain to you, be honest. Put it in the comment section. Let me know. Because we all deal with it at some point or another in our relationship, whether we just brand new or whether we got some years or decades invested. But it is what it is. So number 1, first sign of you're possibly an insecure person, you have some insecurities. Number 1, you don't want them to do anything without you. Feeling totally anxious at the mere thought of him or her having casual drinks with their coworkers after work? Stop right there. And in a relationship, a major sign of insecurity is lack of trust. If I'm telling the truth, let me know in the comment section. Why? Because if you can't trust your partner, if you can't trust that your partner can be anywhere alone without something happening, it's time to reevaluate your own insecurities or the relationship as a whole. Why do I say this? Because I've been there. I have seen people so obsessed with the significant other or a mate that they would get mad at them if they even considered going anywhere after work without them. And in fact, they didn't even want them to see any person of the opposite sex ever. Like, not even look at them. And that sounds completely nuts, right? Well, chances are they probably have been cheated on in a previous relationship, and they are determined to never let that happen again. And they figure if I didn't let my new bae, even like if I didn't give my new bae even a bit of space to breathe, that there is no way anything could happen. Well, I regret to inform you that ultimately that blatant insecurity often will lead to the end of the relationship. Number two, you don't want to do anything without your partner. Think about this. Have you completely or know somebody who has completely abandoned their own life so that you can fully merge with your partner's life? This means ditching your friends, ditching your family, and other things that were previously important to you. If so, this might be cause for an instant red flag. Why? Because only natural that during the honeymoon phase of any relationship that you want to spend a ton of time with your significant other. However, if it's months and months or even years down the road and you feel you can't do anything without them, it's likely an insecurity rearing its ugly head. And y'all ain't got to tell me if I'm in the ballpark. I know I'm in the ballpark with that. I know I'm in the ballpark with that. Number three, you put off any conversation that might be confrontational. Oh, this is a big one. This is a huge one. No, we don't want to be arguing constantly with someone. But we don't want things to bottle up either. Because as we all know, eventually it will lead to an explosion. And while I believe that some things are better left not said in the heat of the moment, that's the key phrase, in the heat of the moment. Another side of insecurity in a relationship is avoiding discussing anything confrontational that could potentially cause their partner to say anything offensive. There is a time and place for everything. A time to agree and a time to disagree. A time to have fun and a time to handle business. A time to pray and a time for confrontation. You could put that on a shirt. You could hashtag that. You can quote me on that. It is what it is. Because at the end of the day, in order to have an authentic yet healthy, intimate relationship, confrontation is necessary. Confrontation does not necessarily mean you're jealous or insecure, because it's all about the context. It is not one size fits all. Some stuff requires you to confront them on some things, especially when it's a history of it happening or it's repeatedly happening. Point number 4. Sign number 4. Absolutely, you have to agree to disagree. Point number 4. You require constant reassurance that your relationship is solid. These are common questions. What I'm about to share with you are common questions asked by those who are insecure in their relationship. Do you think they're prettier than me? Do you ever think about them? Do you miss them? By asking these questions and hopefully getting the answers we want, we reassure ourselves that we're worthy. But ultimately, you have got to be secure with yourself and your own worth before ever entering into a relationship, or it will never be successful. Now, similarly, as to how you might regularly find yourself asking questions about your partner's ex, those with relationship insecurities are also known to demand a lot of reassurance that the relationship is going well. Insecure partners regularly seek the need for approval. And finally, the 5th one. And I'm gonna need to hear from y'all on this one. The 5th and final one. You constantly accuse your partner of cheating. Yeah, you constantly accuse your partner of cheating. Now, if your partner has never cheated before, or giving you a reason to actually believe they cheat on you now. This unnecessary obsession might flat out kill you. At the surface, it may appear to be a simple trust issue. But the reality is, it might be a lot more than that. In fact, it could be that you don't find yourself good enough for your partner and are scared that they'll find somebody better than you. But by continuing to accuse them of cheating, you might be ultimately putting a guilt trip on them to stay with you. But one thing that I have found out is that normally the person that's always accusing the other person of cheating, chances are they're the one that's cheating. Can't say amen, say ouch. But let me wrap this up. Let me say some of these points may resonate with you in your current relationship, but there is no need to fear. We talked about the symptoms. Now, let me break down some of the solutions. Let me provide some of those solutions. First, you must determine whether your feelings of insecurity are warranted. Being completely realistic with yourself. If you believe your partner is actually cheating on you, then do something about it. And if you find that it really is your insecurity speaking, if you're honest enough with yourself to come to that conclusion, because a lot of people are not, trust me, I know, what will happen is that by being completely realistic with yourself, you not only have the opportunity to do something about it, but you realize that it's time to change your mindset before you end up destroying the relationship altogether. Now, to begin, you have to begin with putting your imagination to rest. You can't let your imagination run away from you. It's likely what's gotten you to this place to begin with. Now, once you stop imagining scenarios of what your partner is doing, you'll begin to see the truths much more easily. Give your significant other or give your mate some space to breathe. And give yourself space to breathe. Yes, you are a couple. However, you're individuals. And it's okay to do things apart. You ever heard the term absence makes the heart grow fonder? How can you know that absence makes the heart grow fonder if you're never absent? I'm just saying. It's okay to do things apart every once in a while and to maintain a sense of self. And another major trick is to stop allowing yourself to compare your current relationship to your prior relationships. Because last I checked, no woman wants to be compared to another woman. No man wants to be compared to another man. And then finally, rather than regularly seeking your partner's reassurance, instead seek your own reassurance. And once you start fully loving yourself, you'll see that these relationship insecurities will begin to diminish slowly but surely. And I've said this plenty of times. Life may not change overnight, but it will change when you make a decision. It starts with you. It starts with the man or the woman in the mirror. You have no control over what somebody else do. The only person that you have control over what they do is you and your children if you got babies. Other than that, you don't have no control over somebody else. And so with that being said, I hope that you all got something from it. If you hopped on late, let me recap this. The 5 things. There are 5 signs to know that if you're insecure in your relationship. Number 1, you don't want them to do anything without you. That's a doozy. Number 2, you don't want to do anything without your partner. Number 3, you put off any conversation that might be confrontational. Point number 4, you require constant reassurance that your relationship is solid. Now, I understand that people love to know that they mate love them, okay? But we all have those moments where we just don't feel like saying it. And to me, I feel like if you're going to say something, I want you to say it genuinely. Don't say it because you tired of me, telling you to say it, or you feel guilty because if I tell you I love you, you just feel obligated to say it back, But at the end of the day, actions speak louder than words. But sometimes you need to hear those words because you don't know what your mate is going through. You're not around them 24/7. And even if you are around them 24/7, you don't know what's going on in a mental Rolodex. You don't know. And then finally, number 5, you're constantly accusing your partner of cheating. Those are 5 signs that I have found out, that I have discovered, that are natural signs that someone is insecure. And by all means, yes, you gotta be genuine, but I would even use a better term. You gotta be authentic. You gotta be authentic. You gotta be transparent. Because your mate ain't gonna agree with you on everything. Because as somebody, I believe in being transparent. As somebody who has dated and has been with a person who is a yes woman, this was years ago, but as somebody who has dated a yes woman, if you say yes to everything that your mate does, you not being authentic. And I dare you to tell me otherwise. You ain't being honest. Because that's not human. That's not reality. You don't agree with everything that your mate does. You're not required to. What you're required to do is to be honest with them, even if it hurts their feelings. But you have to know when to use discretion, because it's not always what you say or what you do, but it's how you say it and how you do it. But by all means, be authentic. So if you got value from this, feel free to share this. Feel free to let people know. If you know someone is insecure, you could privately send this to them. So you ain't got to embarrass them by, posting it to their Facebook wall or something like that. But I thank everybody that hopped on. Thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule. It's just past 9 p.m. And at the end of the day, we can all do better in our relationships. And the thing about it is, okay, you say you had a situation like that, and then they would come back weeks and months later, and be like, well, I didn't agree with I didn't agree with what you said and did. But at the end of the day, you ain't gotta agree. You're not gonna always agree to disagree, and then be able to respect where they're coming from. But don't just shut them out, or don't act like a spoiled brat because they don't agree with what you think and how you feel, and so on and so forth. So Danielle, I'm gonna get you the link because I'm actually going to post this on YouTube as well. And at the end of the day, we can all do better in our relationships. And it just takes educating ourselves and being honest with our mates, or being honest with those we're potentially looking to get involved with. But it starts with us. We have no control over anybody but ourselves. But with that being said, thank you so much. To everybody who tuned in to this week's episode of the Motivation to Elevation podcast. We're here every Tuesday, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 8:30 Central. And I will be back next Tuesday, same time, right here on this page. And thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule. I love you all. God bless you all. And I will talk to you all later. Peace.